All right, going to try to make this quick as possible so you have just a real quick Germerica intro before we can formally meet. We do need to meet soon, but I wanted to go over some things briefly that you guys can be getting underway. So first, you should be very excited. Germerica is amazing. To kind of fix some question marks that you may have had when you were doing the application. This is not a conference. This is an interaction, 2-year commitment, 2 weeks per year that you will go over there. They will host you in Germany, and then you will return the favor here. So I love that I've had conversations with some of you about what they can be doing when they come over here in 2019. We do not know if that's going to be March or if that's going to be in the summer. That's going to be something we play by ear. But for right now, you just have to get ready to go enjoy going over to Germany for this trip in July. So you will get a Facebook invite to be part of the Germerica 2018-2019 group, and you can start reaching out and interacting with the students there, sending them private messages, whatnot. They're going to be excited to get to know you, and again, that's what this is about, is trying to make some international connections. So you're not going to be developing anything for OUR presentation. That was simply to try to get some funding. They're not funding international travel, so you're not going to worry about putting together a presentation. You will tour their facilities over there, and they're going to tour the facilities over here. But really and truly, it's time for you to just go over and enjoy getting to know them and going sightseeing with them and things like that. It's almost too good to be true. So real quickly, let's just make sure that you go ahead and get your passports if you don't already have those. If your passport is going to expire anytime in the next, I believe it's year, you're really kind of cutting it close on being able to get back. So make sure to go ahead and get that updated. But passports usually do cost about $150, but you can look for that online. They take somewhere of I think it's like 4 to 8 weeks to get back. Adam recently got his back in a much shorter time, so go ahead and get that taken care of. The flights. You will need to arrive in Germany. If you're leaving from the States, you will need to leave on Saturday, July 21st. That actually will get you in on Sunday, July 22nd. They've got a pickup scheduled for everyone from between 7 and 11. It's just a little bit easier if everyone can come in at that time. Otherwise, where you're going to fly into actually is Frankfurt. So you need to get a flight to Frankfurt. That's helpful. But where you're going to initially start and drop all your stuff at is Darmstadt. So that's about a 40-minute ride from the airport there. So going and getting people back and forth is takes a little bit of creativity at times. So just make sure that if you can, arrive between 7 and 11 a.m. If we need to wait a little bit longer, certainly that can happen. And there's going to be people in Frankfurt as well that could probably assist with that. But you'll arrive on the 22nd at 6 p.m. that night. That's the bottom line, is we really want everyone by 6 p.m. for the welcoming party. So that'll occur in the dorms. And it's typically just the students that will make some German foods that you'll get to try that night. They're going to try to keep us up all day and all night so that we get on a regular sleep schedule. So if you come into Europe prior to that, you're going to already be adjusted. And again, if you're choosing to travel before this date, just make sure again that you arrive in Frankfurt by that 6 p.m. Party that night. And then on the other end of things, there will be a farewell on 6 p.m. on August the 4th, also in the dorms at Darmstadt. And then people will be flying out on the 5th on that morning. They'll take us all back to the airport, and we'll have bands that are going to be escorting all the students to the airport to fly out. But again, at that point, if you're choosing to go somewhere else in Europe, that's on you, and you can kind of skedaddle from that point. So, other things with Germany. I did get a slight itinerary today that I will send you. I'm so excited about it. I'm so ticked off. I know that most of you know this, but I and Adam are actually going to be in Scotland at a conference, which is a cool opportunity, but we're going to miss out the first 5 days with you all. So you guys are going to arrive, have your welcome party, and then just like we did the previous time, it looks like you'll head up to the Alps where we had kind of went. So you'll leave what you need to leave at the Darmstadt dorms. That'll all be locked up under high security, and then be able to take just some travel bags for 4 days. Going to do some outdoor activities, which is the ski jump arena, which was an actual national training site. That's absolutely awesome. And then the Zoltler beer factory. So you get to go there, and what they did for us last time was this awesome dinner that you got to try all these foods. I'm telling you, you're going to just love the pretzels. Speaking of food, when we meet up, I've purchased some local here, so it's not going to be the same, but this is Milka chocolate. Milka is a lot like, well, it's nothing like any chocolate that you've tasted, but I compare it to how we have pumpkin in every sort of dessert when it comes October. Well, Milka has so many different toppings that are inside of here, so you'll have just your plain Jane stuff with almonds, stuff with caramel, but they've got like Chips Ahoy Milka and different candy bars that are put in Milka, white chocolate, all these different ones, and you guys will have that. We'll have something called emergency chocolate, that at any given time when we're walking around, and we will do a lot of walking, somebody, typically Dr. Tillman, will say, who needs emergency chocolate, and we'll be giving that out. As well as gummy bears. We'll be eating a lot of gummy bears, so get ready for that. But like I said, a lot of walking. But okay, you guys get done with that, and then the next day, departure to Munich. I am so disappointed. I'm not going to get to go to Munich because I've never been there before, but you guys are scheduled to go to Munich for 2 days, it looks like, which is awesome, and then you'll head back to Darmstadt. And then while in Darmstadt, there's another 5 or 6 days that they don't have anything scheduled for yet, but I know in the past we've taken trips over to Cologne, Germany, to see the Dom Cathedral there, and just there's twin days involved in that. What a twin day is, just very briefly, will be opportunities for you to connect with the students, and you can kind of go off and do your own thing. The faculty will do their own thing. In the past, students ran over to France, which is about a 2.5-hour drive, and I think they regretted just spending the whole day in the car, even though they got to go see another castle in France. But you can start talking to them about something that might be that you really want to see in the area, that would be a much shorter drive, that might not be on the trip, or even if it's just hanging out. And with 16 days, sometimes you just need some downtime. All right, so real quickly, just some final things that I want to finish up so this video doesn't become too terribly long. But get yourself a good backpack. That's what is easy to haul around. You can actually put that on the plane. You won't need to check that. Really, when you are booking your flights, see what it's going to cost. And a lot of times, especially if you're flying from place to place in Europe, make sure that they include your luggage in that, because sometimes they don't include check bags, so you're going to have to pay an extra cost. But typically with international flights, you usually get 2 check bags, so just check on that. No pun intended when you're looking at that. But you'll definitely be able to carry usually like a personal item and then a backpack. And so my backpack is typically a much longer backpack item that I can get a lot of stuff in. So I just had the one the one check bag. The big backpack that I used is my carry-on, and then my personal bag was actually a backpack as well, just a small school backpack for that. I would advise you take your computer, especially if you guys are doing online classes, or if you want to FaceTime any significant others. Not that we're there that long, but the dorms do have Wi-Fi, so I would advise for you to bring a computer, definitely here if you're in an online class. While you're up in the Alps and probably in Munich, those are going to be 4 days at the very beginning when you get this schedule. That first 4 or 5 days, you're probably not going to have as much communication with people, or at least the ability to do your assignments. So that might be something, if you are taking an online class, to start communicating as soon as possible with that professor to let them know during that week you're going to be a little limited. Once we're in Darmstadt, back in the dorms, you're going to have access to do whatever. While I'm kind of thinking of it, when Germerica starts, part of this responsibility here is you're all in with what we're doing. And so in the past, some students have wanted to go do some kind of sightseeing on their own, and once the 22nd hits at 6 p.m., your sightseeing personally is over, and you're involved with this whole group thing until you leave the morning of August 5th. I'm telling you, there's going to be some amazing things. So you're not going to be going without by any means, but the schedule is packed. There's not extra things for you to be able to do during that time, because really the whole purpose behind the funding of this is for you to interact and engage with these students. That's why the grant even exists, is for this wonderful connection between all these different universities. So in addition to your computer, I would bring their adapters. It's not necessarily a voltage adapter anymore unless you are doing something like a hair dryer, because that can, it's usually items like that would need a different voltage adapter rather than just the adapter like we have. Anymore with the USB cords, you can actually buy something while you're in Germany. I picked one up for about $5 at the mall last year that will plug into the German outlet. So you can order something like that in advance, because you're going to be able to just plug your USB as your phone with that. Since I'm already mentioning phones, check with your phone carrier. Go ahead and talk with Verizon or whoever you're with. As far as, again, you have Wi-Fi. Most people in the past, they would get on an app so they could text people with Wi-Fi. There's a number of international apps that allow for that, so you can even call, and things have changed so much with technology. We can do most of those things over Wi-Fi, but if you personally want to make sure that you have your phone calling abilities, texting and those kind of things, you'll want to make sure that you've got a phone carrier. Same thing, check with your bank as far as what it's going to cost for purchases over there. I personally just bring cash. I don't like the swipe. It's very easy to be spending a lot more with credit cards anyhow, so I get the cash in advance. I do not get the cash in the airport, and I do not, we have to go walk and go find some place to get you cash. Now, that will do that, and there's inevitably going to be some students that need to do that, so if you're in that boat, that's totally fine. However, I just generally like to have that taken care of in advance. I bank at Wells Fargo. I can go up to Wells Fargo, and actually at Wells Fargo, they always carry euros on them. So you can go up there and get the transfer the money right now or as you're getting it, so that you have that money in advance. And I would really strongly encourage you to get that money in advance. So I think I've covered everything that's need be. They are American speaking, or excuse me, American English speaking. So communication is not going to be a problem. You'll probably learn some German while you're over there. Driving in Germany, I don't know that you'll actually get that opportunity because the students typically don't, but just know driving in Germany, very easy. The culture very similar to ours, and get ready to eat a lot of pretzels, a lot of different meats, and then just enjoy that culture. You guys are going to have a blast. I'm going to send out, I've already sent out to you a request for us to find a time during finals week. I don't really want to have separate meetings, so we've got to find a time that we can all come together. And moving forward in the summer, we're going to have multiple meetings just to make sure we're all on the same page. It'll give us a chance to hopefully meet the students at the University of Florida as well as Kennesaw State. And I don't know if it'll be possible to do any sort of meetings virtually with the German students, but if we can set that up as well, we will. But we really need to be able to take advantage of all meeting together. So did want to shoot out this video for you just to kind of get the ball rolling. Please email any questions. When I send this out, email them right back, and we can have kind of a chain email going. But I look forward to getting ready with Germerica. Oh, we've also got hats for each of you. They did winter last time, but we usually take them some souvenirs. So also, if you have anything that would be cool to take over there, we take koozies, we take pens to give as gifts. So the first night, we will actually give them gifts, and we're talking about making some T-shirts to give to our student counterparts as well. So they will present us with gifts, and we'll present them with gifts as well. We typically don't give exchange to the American students, so there's less involvement of spending and whatnot, but we'll go over that as well. But that's all I've got, and look forward to talking with you all.